Guys some insight on the maintenance of our 2023 Honda Civic Type R. That's it there in Boost Blue. 6530 R19s, and they're pretty expensive. Essentially what it's like driving this Honda Civic Type R. Corners, look at that. Corners like a dream.
Yeah, there's love, there's hate, lies and games, faith.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you an honest truth. I'm going to give you the honest truth about what it's like to live with the FL5 Honda Civic Type R. And as you guys can see, I also have a 2024 Volkswagen Golf GTI 380 edition, and we also have a Mazda CX-90. So, you know, these are like the cars that I kind of rotate through a lot. So it gives me a very unique perspective on the FL5 Honda Civic Type R. And for those of you that's been following the channel for a while, then you would also know that I traded in a 2021 Camaro SS 1LE to get this Honda Civic Type R. I'm gonna let you know if I have any regrets doing that. I've also had a 2021 Subaru WRX SDI, a 2019 Subaru WRX SDI, a 2023 Subaru WRX. I've also had a 2019 Golf R, which was one of my favorite cars ever. And just to kind of be honest with you guys, right when the day that I got this FL5 Honda Civic Type R, I was actually like on the cusp of buying a 2023 Volkswagen Golf R. I was going back and forth between the Honda dealership and the Volkswagen dealership, and it just so happened that the Honda dealership got back to me faster, and that's why I went with the Honda Civic Type R, because up until that point, I've never driven a Type R, not a FK8, not a FL5. This is the first Honda Civic Type R I've ever driven. Matter of fact, it's the only Honda Civic Type R I've ever driven so far, you know? So I didn't know what it drove like anything, but I knew what the 2019 Golf R drove like, and I drove a Mark A Golf R, and I knew what that drove like as well. So I was very interested in getting that Golf R, but when they called me back, I was already sitting down at the table with Honda, and they already made me a good offer, so I decided to stick with Honda. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that I went with Honda, and I'm gonna go into like, you know, pretty specific details on why I believe this is one of the best cars that you can get. And then I'll also let you know some of the downsides of it as well, because it's not all, you know, roses and honey and everything nice and sweet. There are some downsides to having an FL5 Honda Civic Type R. But let me go ahead and take you guys through the paces and show you guys exactly what I mean when I show you the good of it and the bad of it. So let's go. So as far as like comparing this to my 2021 Camaro SS 1LE and the 2023 Volkswagen Golf R that I was going to buy instead of it, I would say that this to me is the more special car out of both of those. Like every time you get inside it, the red guts, the red like ambient lighting, and like the way how like if I indicate or something, you'll see it indicates here in the thing. If I indicate here, you know, if I put on my hazards, you'll see both of them are on. Like little things like that. Like when I turn the steering wheel, the car turns here. Like I don't know any other car that has this type of setup that works like that. And it actually gives you like actual, you know, scoring on track days. It gives you all the information you need. Like this is almost like GTR-esque with the amount of information you get on the car, you know. So this to me feels like the more special car, like out of both of them. And weirdly enough, so one of the reasons why I wanted to get the Golf R was because of the all-wheel drive, because I felt like it would make the 0 to 60 times and quarter mile times a lot better than this front wheel based Honda Civic Type R. But I don't know what type of sorcery Honda did with this. I was able to get a 5.1 0 to 60 time in my FL5 Honda Civic Type R. And I looked at like channels like Redline Reviews and a bunch of other people, and the best they were able to get out of the Mark 8 Golf R with the manual gearbox, with the manual transmission, which is the only way that I would buy it, is 5.3. So I don't understand. And then with this, you can hit 60 in second gear here. In the Golf R, you have to switch into third gear to hit 60. So, you know, I'm sure that, you know, every time you have to switch gear, it makes your time longer. So that was another reason why I was like, I'm very much okay with getting this Honda Civic Type R over the Golf R and over the Camaro SS1 Elite. So those, you know, so performance wise, this thing is no slouch. And on a track, and then people don't believe me when I say this, right? So like, I've driven the crap out of the 21 Camaro SS1 Elite that I had. You know, I've taken it to the track a couple times, and it's a great car. It's a very good track car, but this is an even better track car. And I know it sounds like blasphemy because this is front wheel drive and that is rear wheel drive, but even with this being front wheel drive, I would say it's just a better balanced, lighter feeling, better handling car. I feel more confidence in the handling in this FL5 Type R than I do in the Camaro SS1 Elite, and that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. So there, I would say if we're gonna go over like things that make this more special and better than the Camaro and the Golf R, would be it feels more special when you get in it. It's, you know, it's a better track car in my opinion. It's faster 0 to 60 than the Golf R, which is incredible to me, and it has more presence as well too. Like when I've gone to car shows and stuff, and I've had more people stop and want to take pictures of the Type R than they ever did with the Camaro SS1 Elite. And then just look at that. Look at the grip for days. Like, you know, unless you own one, you won't really understand it. But I was talking to Q the Chaotic the other day. By the way, shout out to Q the Chaotic, shout out to Blueprint 1 Elite, shout out to 100 Gate Nate, the whole MOC, shout out to Bull Motivation, that's our guy. You know, shout out to Race Car 21. Shout out to Genesis, shout out to Joanna, shout out to Anna, the Queen of the Crew, shout out to everybody that rock with us, right? So also, yeah, shout out to you, Diane T, if you watch it. Shout out to you, Brittany, as well. You know, you guys watched the last couple videos with Brittany, Kakalia. Shout out to everybody that's part of the crew that rocks with us. But yeah, I was explaining to him that learning how to drive a front wheel drive car fast, it's a skill similar to the skill it takes to learn how to drive a rear wheel drive car. You know, learning how to launch a rear wheel drive car to keep it from spinning and, you know, and losing time is very similar to keeping a front wheel drive car from spinning and hopping and not getting traction. It's hard to get traction in both. Obviously, it is easier to get traction with a rear wheel drive and put that power down, but it nonetheless, it is a skill. It is a skill that you need in both, you know? So that's something that I want you guys to keep in mind. Now, oh man, looks like it's about to rain. It sucks. That's the downside. And now that brings me to the downside of the Type R. The Type R to me is so special. It really feels like a weekend car that you do not want to, like, you feel bad when you take it out and it starts to rain or something like that. Because now literally what I'm going to do, as soon as I'm finished filming this video, I'm going to go home, I'm going to rewash it all over again and put it back in the garage. like literally, like, it's not a car. It feels so special that you want it to be mint and clean all the time. Like, so unlike with my GTI, when my GTI gets a little bit dirty, I'm like, you know, it's made for that. Like, you could do that, you know, all day. So that is a different feeling you get when you drive this. It's like, it's almost like, I would say, and this is for me just currently on the money level that I'm on right now currently, it's almost like how people feel when they have supercars. Like, you want to keep it clean and nice the whole time. Like, you don't want it to get rained on. You don't want it, you know, somebody to splash water on it. Like, it's just that type of car, you know. So I'm gonna see if I can go somewhere where it's not raining and finish telling you, like, the honest truth about what it's like to live with this car. All right, so if you look in the back there, that's what we just drove through. All that rain in the back there, that's where we just came from. But here it seems to be, down south it seems to be a little bit drier. So yeah, that's why I came here to finish filming. But let me go in and explain why, like, or actually let me just explain what it's like to live with this Type R. And I actually give you some reasons now why you may not want to buy it. So for some people that live in cold climates and places where it's snow and stuff, you may not want to buy this car because it is front wheel drive, it is a powerful car, and it may not perform best in that type of climate, in that type of weather. So that's one reason you may not want it. Another reason is some people may not like the styling. Some people like the FK8 is like a shorter wheelbase, not as long looking car. Some people may not like the styling, and then that's fine. I kind of felt that way initially too, up until like I've gotten used to this, and I actually prefer it now to the FK8. And I love some people like that it's a little bit more subdued compared to the FK8. Some people may not like it, so I'm one of the ones that I prefer that this is a little bit more subdued. Another thing is the maintenance on this. So I think I got like 2 to 3 years of free maintenance, oil changes and everything on this. But Honda is very specific on, you have to wait until the car tells you that it's time for an oil change, and it may do so at like 10,000 miles or something like that. So that may be a downside. Some people may not like that, you know. I know with my VW, I brought it in early for its free oil change, and they didn't care. They was like, okay, yeah, they just did it, and you know, and that was it. There was no extra special rule that you can't do that. Another thing is the price of tires. So if you have to replace these tires, let's say you get like a flat tire or something, these are running 265 30R19s, and they're pretty expensive. Like, I'll put in a clip right here showing you guys how expensive it is to swap out these tires compared to like the Golf R, the Mark 8 Golf R, so you can get an idea of just how expensive these tires are. So I wanted to give you guys some insight on the maintenance of our 2023 Honda Civic Type R. That's it there in Boost Blue. So this is what it costs if you need to replace one tire. So just one tire, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, is $355 for one tire. Like, so $1,423 for all four. They have a Bridgestone Potenza Sport. That's a closeout. This is great at $155, but that's like a special closeout. That's not the norm. Then you go down to the Bridgestone Potenza Sport. So I don't know what these are probably defective or something. It's a Max Performance Summer tire. This one is also a Max Performance Summer, and this one is $336. So if you have a Type R, I would go get those Bridgestones that are special closeout right there. But yeah, so that's what they're normally at, $336 per tire. This one is a Hankook. You know, Hankook normally gives like good pricing. It's $258 per tire. Pirelli P Zeros, $377 per tire. Kumho, that's a good price at $246 per tire. Continental, $299. Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2, it's $450 per tire. And I'll just stop there, but you know, it's $1,800 for $1,803 for a set of 4. And when I went to Sam's Club, the cheapest tire they had was $388, and everything else was like $400 plus. Now let me give you an idea of what it's going to cost. Like if I would have went, because I was really close to buying a Golf R instead of the Type R when I was shopping to get the Type R, and the people for the Golf R just called me at the last minute, so I went with the Type R. But let me show you what it's like for 2023 Volkswagen Golf R, which is what I would have gotten had I not gotten the Type R. And look at so Max Performance Summer Continental Extreme Contact Sports, $270 per tire, $1,083. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, $300 per tire. So it's less than on the Type R, so $1,200 right there. And then you get the Michelin Pilot Sport PS2, $320 per tire, $1,282. And they have a special closeout here for the Bridgestone Potenza Sport, $181 per tire. So that'd be $647, you know, total. That's amazing, right? And then you got the Hankook Venus V12 Evo 2s for $227 per tire. That'll get you 911 out the door. Pirelli P0s, $431. That's the most expensive one I've seen here. That's $1,724. And then you got Pirelli P0 PZ4s. These are max performance summer tires at $280 per tire. So yeah, just overall the price of tires, and I would also say maintenance, is going to be cheaper on the Golf R versus the Type R. But yeah, that's something in case you guys wanted to know. You know, that's something I figured I would go ahead and share with you guys so you can get an idea of the cost of maintenance between the Golf R and the Type R. But I digress. Let's get back into this video. So yeah, so the maintenance could be up there, and I'm sure when it's time to replace these Brembo brakes here, that's gonna cost a pretty penny. I'm sure if you ever needed to place one of these wheels, that's gonna be expensive. But relatively compared to like the Camaro and stuff like that, it's not gonna be as expensive. But that's just something to keep in mind. Like if you break this wing, it's gonna be expensive. So the maintenance on a FL5 Type R can get up there. That's just something to be aware of. But that's pretty much the most of the negative things that I can say. Like, oh, well, yeah, actually, no, there's one more. So in the back seat, I wish they would have done the red color in the back seat as well, on the same material that it is in the front. It's like a suede here. This is like a different type of cloth, and there's no third seat. So they have the cup holders here instead of the third seat. So if you have kids, you have 3 car seats. You can only put 2 car seats back here. You might be able to squeeze in 3, but you know, it's not recommended. You know, another thing, there's no back pockets here. There's no rear AC like how there is in the Golf GTI and the Golf R. So that's something to be aware of. As great as the shifter is, it is a metal shifter, and if you live in a hot climate, it does get pretty hot, and same thing when it gets cold, you're gonna feel it as well. So yeah, those are some other negatives. And one thing I particularly don't like about this is that they don't have the windshield wiper fluid nozzles here. They have them here, and I don't like that, because normally, oh sorry, they have here, right over there. So when you spray it, it like sprays out, like it sprays outwards. It doesn't spray on the windscreen really. It's not a very effective windshield wiper solution to me, but I'm guessing if you live someplace where there's snow and stuff, I guess it'd be helpful with that, with the snow and stuff like that, but not so much for me. Now where it does beat out the Golf R and the Camaro very handedly is the backseat space. Like I have the seats pushed all the way back, and regular humans can sit, you know, can still sit behind me. Like I took Will Motivation and his friend out a while ago, and she sat in the back of Will, and they both sat in here very comfortably. Like it was no issues whatsoever. And another thing that's great about it is the storage space. Like there's way more storage space in here than in the Golf R or the GTI or the Camaro and many other cars. There's just so much storage space here. You also get a built-in subwoofer. It's just, I don't know, it's pretty amazing if you ask me. So all in all, if you ask me what it's like living with the FL5 Honda Civic Type R, I'm gonna say it's amazing. It's not perfect like any other car. It has drawbacks, but overall I give it a 9 out of 10. Like that's what, because it's that close to being perfect. But you know, and actually another thing too, like if Honda really just wanted to crush the competition and make this car perfect, all they really need to do, besides all the little nitpicky things I mentioned, is make this car all-wheel drive. If this car was all-wheel drive, it'd be over for all the other cars, just being honest with you. But yeah, man, but that's it for this video. Hope this video was informative and helpful to you guys that are looking at purchasing cars like these. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was fun for you to watch. And with that, Race Car Friends out. Essentially what it's like driving this